and the co overtake him. So we're off circuit. We need to be careful there. That curb is. I'm trying to find lap time, but it's just not working for us at that corner. I'm trying to push to try and see if we can push away from Joe, basically, and cut our losses. But this setup just doesn't allow me to do that. The following lap. Well, hello everyone and welcome back to another video of the F1 22 Driver Career Mode with Williams, episode number 16 today, the Italian Grand Prix. If you missed the previous episode featuring the corner from hell at Zandvoort, then of course you can go and check that out. And of course subscribe to the channel and see plenty more F1 22 Driver Career Mode videos. But coming into this one, off the back of that one, I just couldn't be bothered to carry on, so retired from the race. First DNF of the career mode so far. Doesn't help our stuff from P10, P8. McLaren now are moving away in terms of the constructors as well. So, for us, in our attempts to try and catch up, it's, we're looking over our shoulders now, rather than looking ahead to the likes of Norris and Alonso, who have been scoring consistently big points. And that's only going to get worse with the new patch now as well. But, Perez, first win of the season, he has been consistent of late, apart from those 2 6th places. So there's chance for him to have a good end of the season and prove to Red Bull he should be there. But R&D wise, then coming into this episode, we haven't really got a lot we can do on the aero side, but this is major drag reduction upgrade. We could do with that because that's the updated performance. As you can see, McLaren up to 4th. I'll show you the overall comparison in a minute as well. So that's one we are going to put on. We have got a new ERS upgrade for this race, which is good because of course we're at Monza, and we're going to need that ERS as well. We've also got an upgrade from Mercedes as well. On the durability side, there's a confirmation. You can see McLaren have just gone out of sight. I'll show you the full one in just a moment. Looks like we might be on a regulation change into season 2. Will be good for us because it looks like R&D in this patch currently R&D is applying for the player, which you'll see a little bit more apparent in Thursday's episode than today's episode. And it's not Vettel that announced his retirement, it's Alonso who's announced his retirement in this driver career mode. Alonso not able to get that move to Aston Martin, unlike in real life as well. But the R&D tree then, you can see that Red Bull is the fastest car ahead of Ferrari. Did show it last week out. You see McLaren were actually 3rd fastest for the previous episode at Zandvoort, but they are now back to 4th after the Mercedes have upgraded them. And then there's a big midfield between Alfa Romeo, Haas and Alpine, AlphaTauri, Aston Martin, then ourselves quite a little bit way behind now. The R&D needs to come a little bit more apparent, but we have got some bigger upgrades coming, so hopefully we can just jump ahead. Here's the comparison between the two patches. You can see that Ferrari, Red Bull have definitely caught up, so have McLaren. Those are the two big things, two big wins. And then there's slight changes for Haas, Alfa Romeo, and Alpine, and then also Aston Martin and AlphaTauri pretty much similar. And then Williams, we're actually slightly closer to the midfield, but we're still last. So yes, bear that in mind for today's episode then at Monza as well. Good track for me historically. Unfortunately, well, we're going to have to go into qualifying, and yes.
Okay, I know you're eager to get out there, but I'm going to need you to be patient for a few minutes. We're just trying to zero in on an oil leak.
Seems to be happening every other episode, and there's nothing I can do. It's just a random thing. It'd be nice if they could actually assign those to a durability department, but nevertheless, qualifying going as usually well. We're down in last place. I'm not going to lie. The AI, this new patch, the AI are even more inconsistent than they have been previously. We are looking to try and see if we can we're slightly up on Magnussen, but of course everyone's going to be improving, so we just need to improve massively as well through less boss 1 and less boss 2. The handling model, the gear, I actually noticed the gearbox, it's just a bit more understeery, that's the thing. But if you put more front wing and less rear wing, then I think you can get around that, but that's just my personal opinion. I wouldn't say I'm not an expert on that, but that's just what I think. Anyway, it's not as good as the previous one. I will say that now. The previous one, yes, it was understeery, but it would reward you. Positions as we come up to the line, it's going to be P19 only ahead of Albon there. But yes, that's what I think. Obviously you got to bear in mind the tyre temperatures as well. If you lower the pressures, then it's going to give you a little bit. It's going to help you a little bit in the race. So that's something else that is getting used to, not having higher tyre pressures. But it'd be nice to have given that a try with the old handling model to see. I think that would have given players a bit more of a difference, as opposed to launching everything on all of us at once. Launching just a brand new everything at once. It's just so yes, that's what I think about the handling model. We'll see what we can do from 19th on the grid then. Time for the race day's Italian Grand Prix.
Welcome back to one of only 2 countries that has held a race every year since the very first Formula One World Championship in 1950. It is, of course, Italy, one of the great racing nations, and it's time to get underway for the Italian Grand Prix. With top speeds up to 215 and an average lap speed of around 155 miles per hour, Monza's reputation of one of the fastest circuits in the sport is well earned. We have 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with the best overtaking chance coming into the heavy braking zone of the Turn 1 chicane. It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Charles Leclerc lines up on pole position, and Max Verstappen lines up alongside. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Hamilton, Norris, Sergio Perez, and Sainz, Ricciardo, Bottas, Russell, and Fernando Alonso, Magnussen, Ocon, Sebastian Vettel, and Stroll, Tsunoda, Gasly, Guan Yu Zhou, and Alex Albon, Mick Schumacher, and Phoenix. It's almost time for those 5 red lights to go out then. Let's see who can prevail today. And I'm joined once again by Anthony Davidson to bring you the lowdown for today's race. Let's start with Alfa Romeo. What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Okay, here we go. I know what you can do. Don't let me down.
So race strategy is a 1 stop then from soft to medium. Looking at medium to soft, it is slower, but off the line you want that soft tyre anyway, to be honest, unless it's at least a second faster on the mediums. But 5 red lights then to the Italian Grand Prix, and lights out and away we go. And well, I mean, the starts were terrible before, they are definitely worse now. As Schumacher's been blocked off, thankfully, by Albon. I'm going to take avoiding action as they try, and then Zhou just decides to push me off the grass there as well. We're trying to get the outside. We're going to be out traction by Alonso. That's lovely as well. But here's a replay then. We took to the grass to try and take avoiding action, and then Zhou just decides, oh, he's just not there. We'll just shove him on the in the grass, because I'm coming back on the circuit here. But he's making a dive on there, and then he just decides to turn too early, slightly early for the corner as well. So As well, here's Vettel, who, well, that's someone's lost their rear wing. I think it's Russell. We'll get a replay of that in just a moment. But yeah, Vettel taking a squeeze there to go in 3 multiple wide. Here's what happened to Russell, and it's just a stupid move from the Brit there, running into the back of the McLaren as well. And then he tries the way too aggressive on Bottas in the Alfa Romeo there as well. And on the start then, Max Verstappen nicely in front of Charles Leclerc on this new patch. Red Bull, of course, the fastest team now. Can he stay in front? We'll have to wait and see. Zhou going to come back. We're trying to get in front of Alonso as well. It's not working there. Then Zhou's going to try and have a go at me, but there's just into Lesbos, we're just not allowing it. As I say, traction's still a big issue in this game, and now you know, the cornering as well is a big issue. But virtual safety car has been deployed to clear up the mess at turn 1, and this got me thinking, we might as well gamble, we might as well come in and change for the medium compound tyres, because if that comes a full safety car, then you know, they're all going to box up. So that was my slight gamble, hoping for a full safety car. Alas, it didn't happen, but so, you know, we're not going to gain quite as much time as we would have done if it had been a full safety car. But we're still going to gain some time, hopefully, it being a virtual safety car. We're going to come out of the pits. We're just going to get speed up. And there's no delta coming out the pits as well, which is beautiful as well. So, obviously we go green half a lap later. And Albon now is making a move on Zhou Guanyu, who has an issue of some sort. I don't know if he got any damage when he decided to push me on to the grass or not. We've got Russell as well. He's trying to come back. Obviously he pitted his front wing. There is Fernando Alonso. So we have undercut Alonso, but only Alonso. So that's a little bit disappointing, you know, with the early strategy. We went early for a reason, to try and get the undercut on everyone. Lap 6 though, Alonso's having to go on to Lesbos. He's got fresh tyres on. Ours have been on since lap 1. Well, since the start of lap 2, lap 1, and lap 1, start of lap 2. So you know, we have got ERS is a little bit better, but we still need to play the tactical game of falling behind and then getting the DRS down this straight. It's pretty much the biggest way to clear out, although he is pulling away. So, you know, that's just showing how even more OP they are in a straight line. We're going to absolutely send it down the inside. Absolutely no way am I giving up. Even if it is P11, I don't care. We're going to fight for this position. Hopefully somebody out in front has an issue and we can get into the points as well. And that's going to allow Russell to have a go at Alonso, but Alonso is going to defend the inside there, and Russell has to cede the position as well, as the tyres are now starting to get a little bit worn on the rears there. 25%, you know, which isn't a lot, but you know, this is 25% race. That is a lot. That is mid-range for 25% race as well. So again, this doing it even better there. We're not coming in for that 2 stop because there's no point. So we do have DRS, which is going to allow Russell to jump Alonso, but Russell, I think, bearing in mind what Mark's just said, I think Russell will be coming in to the pits. We go wide, and we're going to have to defend the inside, going into Lesbos. Russell not able to get the traction down there, unusually for an AI as well, but he, of course, coming through Lesbos too, he's going to have DRS, but we were actually able to power away because it's sort of a mid-speed corner there as well. We're going to defend the racing line because that is the best way to go through into Ascari there as well. But now, of course, Russell has pitted, and we've now got Alonso going down to Parabolica. The A have always been so good on the traction out of Ascari down to Parabolica, but we're going to force it down the inside of Parabolica. And that's going to allow Vettel to get through as well, which could give us a little bit of breathing room if they start to squabble as well. I just want to point out we also have an issue, but that hasn't been mentioned. So we have that little glitch, as well as Sainz is getting past Lewis Hamilton there, Leclerc has fallen behind Hamilton as well. Hamilton on the hard tyres is surely going to... Sorry, non-medium tyres there. Verstappen, the one on the hard tyres, excuse me. As well as Schumacher now is having a go at us. And he's got past his good friend Sebastian Vettel. He locks up though into Parabolica and gives me the position straight back. As well as actual fact Alonso that's got in front of Vettel again as well. And now Perez and Sainz for the lead are ganging up on Verstappen. Verstappen's been cruising out in front, but on those hard tyres, just like Ferrari yesterday with Leclerc, Red Bull are the ones this time that have capitulated themselves, and now Sainz has got the better run, but Perez is not going to give this up, and round the Curve Grande is going to go all the way to the next braking zone, and in the end Sainz decides he's not going to give up the position in front of the Tifosi and takes the lead of the Italian Grand Prix, much to the locals' delight. The Schumacher meanwhile is going to have a look at us on lap number 12, but again we have the inside line, and again he locks up. Another that's not, I don't know if that's just a characteristic of Schumacher's AI, because he has locked up quite a few times. That's twice now, and he did it at Austria, if I remember rightly, as well. We're going to cut off Schumacher here this time, as well. Just to try and give me some breathing room, and then decide he has to take avoiding action because he's tried to go on into the curb, as well as watching Lance Stroll, who's way behind, and isn't actually going to finish this race because there it's the plume of smoke as the engine has become a bonfire. He's out the race as well, and now Schumacher is going to battle with Alonso, so that's going to give us a bit of breathing room. Just to show you how slowly we've been going, there is Gasly and there is Albon, so yeah, a little bit fortunate. As I say, this race is less what's the word I'm looking for, highlights the fact that the R&D upgrades aren't applied to the player compared to their teammates and everyone else. But across the line, disappointing that we couldn't get points, but it wasn't a bad strategy, as Schumacher he gets driver of the day, even though we started behind and finished ahead of him. But yes, that is just the frustrations of the current patch. The top 10 actually separated by 5.5 seconds. So, if that continues into season 2, then that's good. That's a good sign that the grid is getting closer and closer, and we're going to see a bit more closer action going into season 2. But bear in mind, we've got that regulation change possibly coming. We don't know what departments yet. So with our nose score, we've got Ocon right behind me now with 1 point behind. Norris does score for McLaren. We've got to watch out for Ricciardo as well, and potentially the two Hasses if they get into a good position. But obviously Ricciardo and Ocon are the two people that I'm getting very nervous that we're going to lose out to in the Drivers' Championship. Constructors, there's just no chance of hell of actually catching Haas now. 7th. Just to also mention, the game decided to also get stuck on this loading screen. Fortunately, it saved my progress, so I just had to quit the game. But yeah, that was a little bit annoying. And the game is not only broken in the fact that it's not a fair competition against the AI, because they have their R&D upgrades and they also have traction. But then also the game is just broken anyway. But enough about those frustrations. P11 for us. We'll need to work on that. Try and get some more points back on the board. I'll try and do that at Singapore, which will be out on Thursday. So yes, if you have enjoyed this video, then leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and you see plenty more F122 Drive Career videos. Until the next video, then I'll see you next time. Take care. Thanks so much for watching. Enjoy your day, and goodbye.